Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and it better not be good night. Here we are again with HFLE for all the week. And this is an initiative of the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors. And with us today, we've got two of the finest. We have with us Miss
Patricia Welch
and
Jacqueline Blenman.
Right, and these two are counselors from our schools, our secondary schools. Now today, we're going to be addressing an area where a number of our students are having some concerns, and that is the whole thing of working from home. We're doing it for you students and your parents and all the other family members that you have that are doing this work from home scenario. Now, working from home is very different for many of us, okay? But we have to remember now that all of us are trying to transition and do this new type of activity from an area where we're now starting to learn from it. So it's not only you that's doing it. Your parents are working at home from their offices. Your older brothers and sisters and other family members are also working at home from their offices. You've got your siblings who are your age and younger. They're working at home as well from at school. So you now have to get used to not only working from at home, but doing this and sharing this process with so many other people. And it comes with some little issues that we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to start the ball rolling and look at one of the areas that some of my students have concerns with and have had interesting things happening with, and that is the use of the background. Now, for many of our work from home situations, we are in face-to-face contact with someone. In the case of our students and teachers, we're face-to-face with you. And you can see what's happening with us and our background, and we can see what's happening with you in your background through our little cameras. Even the phone has a camera. And sometimes there are things going on in our background that we are not quite sure that we want the whole world to see. Sometimes our backgrounds may show rooms that are very untidy. Sometimes our backgrounds show people who are not even sure. They don't know that they're on. And they may not be in a particular way of appearance so that other people can see them. I have heard people say that, they were on a class and a little brother or sister escaped from someone out of a bath and they're flashed by, running by, and they don't have on any clothes. And everybody's laughing. They wonder, what are people laughing at? Oh, catch them. Sometimes a parent could be in the background eating and would just walk by, stuffing their face, and you don't necessarily want everyone to see who is eating or how they're eating in your household. Sometimes the background may have people who are listening to music and dancing, totally unaware that you are online in a class. And there have been others that have not been as funny, but of lots of concern, because sometimes they get embarrassing. Sometimes you have people arguing in the background, and the words are not nice. Sometimes the words are quite profane. In other words, swearing going on in the background. And sometimes somebody will put on some very loud music that hasn't swear words in the background. Sometimes it's traffic. Sometimes it's all kinds of things going on. For some students, they may not worry about it too much. But there are other students, some of you get very sensitive about that and may feel embarrassed and may not want to go back online for a little while because you're not quite sure of your background. But just stay there and wait a little bit, and we're going to look at how you can, have a bit more control over what other people see when they're looking at you through their lenses as well. So those are some of the areas and issues that my students have had. Pat or Jackie, what are some of the things that may have been raised with some of your students?
Well, another thing that could branch from what you would have mentioned would be the setting up of your work area. Some of you kids, you might have decided, well, I am going to just lie on the couch or, sit on the bed for this particular class. We want you to think about how long you might need to sit and do your work. So we want you to be able to set up your workspace. We want you to think about what chair you might sit in, not the bed. We want you to sit in a comfortable chair. We want you to think about your position of where you put your laptop or your tablet, where you can view and you can do your works. You'll be sitting in that position for at least, sometimes some teachers might keep you for 20, sometimes 25 minutes, and you do not want to strain your back, you don't want to strain your shoulders. You want to be able to be flexible as well as to be comfortable. You do not want to lie down. Lying down will lead to feeling a little comfy, feeling a little sweet, and next thing you know, you'll be asleep. You want to be alert. You want to be wide awake so you can understand what your teacher might be saying, as well as to be able to perform the tasks that are necessary. So please consider your workspace. Make sure that you have what you need. You don't have to get up every minute. Oh, I need a pencil. I need, different things. Make sure that you attend with your work, your writing tools. Make sure that you are comfortably seated so that as soon as the tasks begin, you are in a good position to begin to perform, to write, to do whatever is required so that you too can be learning throughout this session that has been presented by your teacher, by your counselor, by whoever is trying to give you the information necessary to keep you active during this presenting time.
And students, I know that some of you will have challenges with trying to organize if your family are usually there during the day and everybody is, as it were, tussling for the space that is available. I want you to use some of the skills that we would have taught you in health and family life education. You realize that you're at home and you have your siblings at home and some of your family members may be at home, whether they're working or they're not employed at this time. I want you to be able to go to them and very respectfully speak to them and gently speak to them and say to them, excuse me, I'm having a class at 9 o'clock or I'm having a class at 10 o'clock. Can you please give me this space to use? Because I really want to be a part of the class. I want to participate in the class. So cooperate with the with your family members and talk to them so that you can organize your space beforehand. It's important to do so beforehand so that everybody will know, well, look, this is a particular time. I want to have my class in this particular space. All right, so that everybody can work together and be harmonious together. And another thing that I've observed, because I like to see what's going on in my community, there's some children I know who are in their houses and who are working. But then I observe as well a child in my community who is working from her patio or what you would call your gallery and her veranda. And she's there on her own and, more than likely her family, her mother or her father and herself, they organize that space. And it's in the outdoors so she can get some fresh air as well, which I hope is not very distracting, but when I see her, and I've seen her more than once, she's concentrating and writing and doing certain things there. So it's important, as I said, to communicate with your family, tell them beforehand, and you all discuss exactly how you're going to go about utilizing the space and so on that you have.
I love that, Pat, especially those C words. Cooperation is very, very good. But here's another C word for you. Coordination. Coordinate with other people in your household about the timing of the use, especially of a shared device shared entity called the Wi-Fi, because everybody can have their own little device. But if you're all tapping into the same bandwidth, sometimes that could be an issue. So coordinate who will be on when, how long you will be on for. And also you can coordinate, and we're going to be talking about background again, your background and your space, okay? You want to be able to make sure that if you're using a camera, the light is ahead of you as opposed to behind you. If the light is behind you, then you're not going to be seen very well. Now, some people may want that, but really and truly, that's not the best way to go about doing a face-to-face class or a face-to-face interaction, all right? So you want to be able to coordinate your space and coordinate with people around you. So having a nice blank space behind is good, even if your space is small. Sometimes it's better if you can coordinate with others when they turn on their music or when there's loud music in the house. Sometimes they may have to coordinate the time that you have around meals. Because if you have to use the table that people are using to eat on, then you've got to be able to make sure you're not doing your lessons at a time when people want to eat. Because all of that also lends in with cooperation, right? Apart from the working at home with respect to being able to get on with other people, we also have to remember things. I know that we don't want to touch too much about time, but timing is very important. When you used to go to school, leave your house and go to school, you left your house at a certain time, right? Everybody?
Yes.
You left your house at a certain time. And then you left school at a certain time to go home, correct?
Yes.
So here it is right now that you're home all the time. Do you know when you are supposed to be in a work mode and when you're supposed to be in your home mode? I think that that's one of the issues that a lot of people, not just you students, but a lot of people have that as an issue these days, don't you find? Especially maybe some of your teachers may have that as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe that we all, in fact, our bodies would have its own timing. And you know when to wake up. You know when your body is getting a little hungry and when to eat. So I think that we need to start doing our own internal schedules so we know it is almost time for a class, it is almost time to eat, even it's almost time for a break.
Jackie, can I jump in here a second?
Yes.
Remember when we were talking earlier, what happens in school to remind you about the time?
Bell.
Oh, the bells.
The bells ring.
The bells.
Now, if you're hearing bells in your head, call one of us real soon, right? Yeah. But really and truly, you've got to find a way at home now to replace that bell that you used to hear in school during your work day at school. You need to be able to replace that bell with something, whether it is a little timer to let you know, well, okay, your 20 minutes or 25 minutes is up, or maybe designate somebody in your household to help keep those times for you so that you're not sitting in front of your computer screen or device from, what's the time, from 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Straight through until 2:30.
And most of the devices that you might have can actually time you. So that can keep you on your guard. You can set your phone, the alarm, to go off every probably half of an hour, or you can set your device to alarm, and remind you that you have 10 minutes before the next class, or you have about 3 more minutes for break. So this keeps you, up to the right timing, and so that you can be ready and in the correct position when you need to be for not only your class, but for your studying, because we want you to also study without being in front of the camera or talking to the teacher. So you can use your device to time yourself. Set it, and it will remind you 5 more minutes to go. It will keep you on track so that you can be prepared and be ready.
What I was thinking too, Jackie, along with that, is you can get a sheet of paper and work a schedule out. I know schools are going with their timetables, and there's some schools who have decided that they are going to not definitely stick to the normal timetable we had from 9 till 3 o'clock. But there's some teachers who may teach for half an hour, or they may teach for 20 minutes or so. But if you have started to put a schedule in place, you know that Monday I'm going to have math. The math class is going to start at 9:30. Then you start putting those things together. Thursday or Tuesday, let's say Tuesday at 10:30, I will have science. On Thursday, 2 o'clock, there is home economics. But whatever the schedule is, from this week, or maybe you started 2 weeks ago, just put a schedule, get your days at the top, and then put the times at the side, and put in a schedule. And if you can, get that sheet of paper and maybe stick it where your workspace is, or if it can be put in your book or by your laptop or your tablet, at least you will have it there for you, and you can look at it, check it periodically, so that you can keep abreast of things. And another thing I want you to do, because we still want to maintain our schedule, we still want to maintain some order in our lives. So what you can do at night in preparation for the following day is to look at that schedule. Look at that timetable. You don't have to, it will not take a long time, and you can start putting things in place. You know you have to get ready for school, as it were. Get ready for your virtual class. So prepare your clothes, prepare your shirt and your pants, whatever you need, put your things together, whatever tools or equipment that you will need, because you're going to do maybe some practical areas using your hands, and you might need your scissors and your glue and so on. And you know beforehand that you're going to need these things. Put them there so that you don't have to be scrambling when the session starts.
Great, Pat. Great. Wonderful set of advice. Now, I want to leave one more thing before we wrap up. I want to leave something else with you. When you're working from home, your work is not all online, okay? Remember that. Your work is not all online. There's so many other things that you can do and that you should do offline in preparation for not just going online, but for learning. This is your future, and learning has to be intentional, okay? You have to come ready and willing. This is not a punishment. It's not a punishment. So your mindset also has to be that you are intending to learn whatever you can from this experience, all right? So with that in view, you may not be able to meet with your teacher face-to-face during the class, but if you are intent on learning something, you can always ask questions of your teacher, and you and your teacher can more than likely set up a little 5 minutes where it's just you and your teacher discussing an issue that you may either have a concern with, or something that you are excited about with respect to the subject, something you have discovered. And all of that goes into your new normal of working from home within your school environment. Ladies, I want to thank you all for joining us today. And before we issue a challenge, I'm going to give you each a few seconds to just give your final words on working from home.
Well, I would like to encourage every child, every adult, because there are adults out there studying as well, to be open to trying the studying from home. Be prepared. Make sure that you have what you need to enhance, to make your studying from home better.
And we are here for you. You know who your counselor is, and you know how to contact us. If there are any challenges that you may have and you need some assistance, just call us, or you can contact your form teacher or one of your teachers, and I'm sure that they will be willing to help you. We are here. Do not feel too overwhelmed or believe that you're getting too much coming at you. Just take it one step at a time, go one pace at a time, and you're going to get it done.
And lastly, from my end, this is a platform that's new really for all of us. We're all in this together. So if you make a little mistake here or there, that's fine, because trust me, we are making mistakes as well. But we learn from our mistakes. You get up and say, aha, this is not the way to do it, but try it this way now. So my challenge to you now is this. I want you to take a picture of the space that you have carved out for yourself to work from home. It does not have to be a very big space. Last night I showed Jackie my space, and she was in shock. She said, oh, you're working from there? I said, yes, but because of how things were set up, it's a very professional looking space. I'm not going to tell you where I was working from though. I know it was not the bathroom, all right? But I challenge you to take a picture of your space. Let people guess where you might be working from. If you care to share where you are working from actually with others, you may do so. But if you don't want to share, just show us the space. And we go, ah, yes, this person is really able to control their background, control their foreground, which we didn't mention before, what is happening in front of them, to limit distractions and interruptions, right? So until next time, I want you to remember HFLE for all the we. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.